Hello brothers and sisters, welcome to Dangerous African Confession. In this episode, I have the continuation of the native doctor who shared with us some secrets of what some prophets do to receive their sight in order to be able to prophesy. This is a three-part series where he takes us through his dealings with these prophets. We now know from his previous episode that, behind the grand altars, the powerful miracles, and the visions they proclaim, there is a dark and terrifying secret. A secret that he is here to share all with us. He said that, for years, prophets from different parts of Africa goes to him, seeking something far beyond prayer and fasting. They go in the dead of night, clothed in secrecy, with only one request, to see beyond human understanding. But what they do not tell their followers is what it costs to open that door. Before we continue, please make sure to subscribe so you don't miss more shocking revelations. Like this video if you believe the truth must be exposed, and comment below if you have ever questioned where some prophets get their powers. Now, let us go and listen to him.
So, once the fire and earth have broken them down, they must be rebuilt through water and blood. The river is not just a source of power, it is a gate, a living spirit that chooses who it will accept. Before a prophet can receive its gift, he must submit himself fully to it, allowing it to wash away whatever remains of his former self. One by one, they step into the water. It is always cold, no matter the season. It wraps around them like an unseen force, claiming them, pulling them deeper. They do not know that they are not simply bathing. The river is examining them, weighing their spirits, deciding if they are worthy. I watch from the shore as each man wades in, his body shivering, his heart pounding. Some stand still, waiting for what comes next. Others close their eyes, whispering prayers to a God who no longer has a place in this process. Then, the blood is added. It is not human blood, not yet. That sacrifice comes later. For now, I take the blood of a pure white goat, one that has never been touched by a blade, one that has been raised specifically for this ritual. I let it spill into the water, let the river take it, let it mix with the bodies of those who seek its power. The water darkens, the scent of iron filling the air. This is the final binding, the last step before they can move forward. They remain in the water until I give the command to come out. Some stay longer than others, their bodies growing weak, their minds slipping between realms, already beginning to see glimpses of the world beyond. When they step out of the river, they are no longer the same. They are still men, but something inside them has shifted. Their spirits are raw, their souls open, ready to receive. Some look afraid, others feel powerful, but none of them are untouched by what has just happened. There comes the last stage of the cleansing, which is the sealing. This time, I take them back to the shrine, where a sacred marking is carved into their skin, small, almost invisible, yet deep enough to bind them forever to the power they seek. This is the mark that separates them from the ordinary men of the world. It is not a mark they can show to anyone. It is hidden, placed in a part of their bodies where only them knows or can see. And from that moment on, they will carry it for life. With this, the cleansing is complete. They are no longer who they were when they arrived. They are empty now. Empty and ready to be filled. You must understand, my friend, that the cleansing is only the beginning. Because it only prepares the prophets, strips them of their former selves, but it does not give them sight. The river has accepted them, yes, but the spirits have not yet spoken. That is why the night of summoning is the most dangerous part of the initiation. Yes, it is the moment when the spirits decide whether to open their eyes or leave them in eternal blindness. Not all who begin this journey make it past this night. Some never return. I have seen men walk into the shrine with confidence, only to be carried out lifeless before the sun rises. I have seen others run into the forest, screaming, never to be seen again. The spirits do not accept everyone. Power comes with a price, and not all are strong enough to pay it. The prophets that do come to me know this, but they do not care. They are desperate. They have come too far to turn back now. And so, when the night arrives, they surrender themselves to whatever awaits them. Okay, how we do the summoning is that, the summoning does not happen in the shrine. The spirits do not come where man has built walls. They exist in the wild, where nature is untouched, where the earth still carries the whispers of those who have passed before us. And so, when the moon reaches its highest point, I lead the prophets into the forest. They are blindfolded. They must not see the path. This is not just for secrecy, it is part of their submission. They must allow the spirits to guide them, to feel their way through the unknown. The deeper we go into the forest, the more the air changes. It grows heavier, charged with something unseen, something ancient. At the center of the sacred grounds is the circle of power, an ancient clearing where the spirits have spoken for generations. No grass grows here, only dark, bare earth. Stones marked with symbols older than time itself form a perfect ring, and in the center stands the altar. It is not an altar of gold or silver, like the ones they have in their churches. It is a simple slab of stone, worn smooth by the hands of those who came before them. But beneath its surface, the power of the Spirit pulses like a heartbeat. This is where the summoning takes place. So, when we get here, the prophets are instructed to kneel at the edge of the circle. Their blindfolds remain. They must not see yet. Sight will only come if the spirits allow it. This is where I take my place at the altar, my body already connected to the unseen forces that have ruled this land for centuries. My role is not to command the spirits, I do not have such power. I am only a bridge, a voice calling out, seeking permission for these men to receive what they desire. One thing that anyone listening or watching me should know is that no spirit comes without a price. Anyone who tells you they are doing something for you for free, without having to pay a price, think twice about it. You would definitely pay, but they might not want to tell you the true cost of what they are offering you. If you will not take anything from this conversation, I beg you to understand just this one. Now let me get back to what I was saying. Before the summoning begins, the spirits must be given something in exchange for what they are about to reveal. And the only offering they accept is blood. This is not the blood of animals. That was for the cleansing. This blood must come from the prophets themselves. One by one, I take a sacred blade, blackened by years of rituals, its edge sharpened by the spirits themselves, and press it against their skin. The cut is small, barely enough to cause pain, but deep enough for their blood to fall onto the earth. Some flinch, their breath catching as the blade slices through their flesh. Others remain still, accepting what must be done. The blood seeps into the ground, disappearing almost instantly, as if the earth itself is drinking it. The spirits have begun to listen. So, once the offering is made, the chants begin. This is not a language of men. It is the tongue of the spirits, passed down from those who first called upon them. The prophets do not understand the words, but they feel them. And they are taught these words later. And most of your prophets out there speaks these words disguised as tongues in their churches. You see, the sounds vibrate through their bones, wrapping around them like unseen hands. The air thickens. The wind dies. Then, after the words are spoken, the first sign appears. A shift in the ground. A whisper in the trees. A shadow moving where there should be none. The spirits are here. Some prophets begin to shake. Their bodies convulse as the spirits pass through them, testing, searching, deciding who is worthy. Some fall to the ground, their limbs stiff, their mouths foaming. Others begin to see flashes of things they do not yet understand, visions of fire, of darkness, of the path they are about to walk. And my friend, the truth is that this is the moment when the weak ones break. Over the years, I have seen men beg to be released, clawing at their blindfolds, screaming that they have changed their minds. But once the summoning has begun, there is no escape. The spirits have come, and they will not leave empty-handed. Then, the final test begins. Each prophet is called by name, not by me, but by the spirits themselves. The voices come from everywhere and nowhere, deep and echoing, ancient and powerful. They are asked one question: do you still seek the sight? Those who hesitate are taken. Not by force, not by violence, but by something worse, silence. The spirits do not grant them death. They simply erase them. Their bodies remain, but their souls are lost, wandering in the space between worlds, neither living nor dead. This does not happen frequently, but it has happened several times. During my father's time, I saw about 3 people who were consumed just like that. And my time now, I have experienced just 1. You see, when the question is posed by the spirits, and those who answer yes, those who still desire the power, despite the terror they feel, are given the final gift. The blindfolds are removed. And for the first time, they see. Not with their human eyes, but with the eyes of the spirits. They see the world as it truly is, without the veil of illusion, without the lies men tell themselves to feel safe. They see the forces that move in the shadows, the creatures that feed on human souls, the true nature of the power they have just received. Some weep, overwhelmed by the weight of their new vision. But a few smiles. They are the ones who were truly meant for this path. They are the ones who will leave this forest and stand before their congregations, claiming to hear the voice of God. They are the ones who will deceive the world. But I do not care. My work is done. Like I said just a while back, the spirits do not give freely. Those who seek power must always return something in exchange. That is the law. That is the balance. When the prophets come to me, they believe that sight alone will make them powerful. They think that once they complete the cleansing and survive the summoning, they will leave with all they need. But they do not understand the true nature of what they have received. The spirits have opened their eyes, yes. But the vision they have been given is not theirs to keep, not unless they make an offering. And the spirits do not ask for silver or gold. They ask for flesh. And sometimes, these men take from their own congregations. Sometimes too, their family members. You see, from the moment a prophet's eyes are opened, he is in debt. He has been given something unnatural, something beyond human reach. And the spirits will always come to collect. In the beginning, the visions are overwhelming. The prophets see beyond the physical, they see shadows moving where there should be none, whispers calling through the air like smoke. They hear the voices of those who have long since passed, calling their names, reminding them that the debt remains unpaid. If a prophet ignores the voices, the torment begins. Your so-called prophets are really suffering in silence. It starts small. Sleepless nights, strange occurrences, the sensation of being watched even when alone. But soon, it grows worse. Their bodies begin to weaken, their skin growing pale as if drained of life itself. They hear footsteps behind them, but when they turn, nothing is there. They feel hands on their shoulders, cold and heavy, pressing down as if to drag them into the earth. And then, the nightmares begin. Not dreams, no. Nightmares. Waking visions of horrors beyond understanding. They see their own graves being dug, their own flesh rotting, their own souls being pulled apart by the very spirits that once granted them sight. This is the warning. If the debt is not paid, the spirits will take what is owed in their own way. And what they take is never small. The law of the spirits is that every prophet who seeks power must make their first offering within 7 days of receiving their sight. That is the law of the spirits. The offering cannot be just anyone. It must be someone close, someone connected to them in spirit. The stronger the bond, the greater the sacrifice. The greater the sacrifice, the stronger the power. Some prophets bring their own family members. A child. A wife. A sibling. These are the ones who desire true dominance, the ones who wish to climb higher than any other. The spirits are pleased with these offerings, for they are rich in energy, filled with blood that carries the prophet's own name. Others choose their most devoted followers, those who have placed their faith in them, those who would never suspect the betrayal that awaits. And then, there are those who are too afraid to offer what is truly required. They bring strangers, beggars, those whom no one will miss. The spirits are not pleased with these offerings. They accept them, yes, but they do not grant their full power. The prophet who brings a weak offering will never rise to the highest level. He will forever be a servant to those who are willing to give more. I have seen prophets weep when I tell them this. I have seen them hesitate, their hands shaking. But hesitation means nothing. The debt must be paid. And once the first offering is made, there is no turning back. You see, when the moment arrives, the prophet must do it himself. The spirits will not accept a coward who sends another to do his bidding. The blood must be spilled by his own hands, under the full moon, in the presence of the river that first cleansed him. The sacrifice is always represented by a sheep. This is not an act of cruelty, it is an act of power. At this point, all I do is to stand beside them, the sacred blade in my hands. I do not force them. The choice is theirs. But if they refuse, they know what will happen. I hand them the blade. The blood spills onto the earth, soaking into the ground, disappearing into the same darkness that granted them sight. For a moment, the world is silent. Then, the wind shifts. The trees groan. The spirits come forward, unseen but felt in every part of the body. They take the sacrifice, and in return, they solidify the prophet's power. When the ritual is complete, the prophet is no longer a mere man. He is something else entirely. Something beyond human. And this act will cause whoever he chooses to lose his or her life in the course of 3 days. When the prophet returns to his congregation, they will not know what he has done. They do not see the blood that stains his hands, the shadows that linger behind his eyes. They only see the power, the miracles, the prophecies, the divine sight that now guides his words. They call him an anointed one. They kneel before him, believing that he speaks with the voice of God. You see, the truth is that a prophet is not born in a day. He is made, molded, shaped by unseen hands. When the prophets leave my shrine after the offering, they believe they have completed their journey. They believe they have reached the peak of power. But that is only the beginning. To the world, they are men of God. Anointed, chosen, filled with divine wisdom. But to those of us who know the truth, they are something else entirely, vessels of forces beyond human comprehension. Their lives are no longer their own. They have crossed a threshold from which there is no return. You see, the moment a prophet takes his first life for power, the spirits mark him. The mark is unseen by ordinary eyes, but those of us who walk in the dark can recognize it immediately. It lingers in the way he speaks, the way he moves, the way shadows cling to him in ways they should not. With this mark, his presence alone will draw people to him. Those who once doubted him will suddenly believe. His words will carry weight beyond human reasoning, and his prayers will shake the foundations of the spiritual realm. But the mark is more than just a sign of power. It is a contract. Again, I must say that the spirits do not give freely, and their mark is a reminder that the prophet now belongs to them. He can preach, he can heal, he can command thousands to kneel before him, but he is never truly free. The spirits will always whisper. They will guide his words in ways he does not fully understand. They will show him visions that control the path he walks. And they will demand more from him, time and time again. No prophet remains powerful without continued sacrifice.
And so, you have heard the truth. You have seen the hidden path that many prophets walk before they stand before their congregations, claiming to hear from God. Not all that glitters is gold, and not every miracle comes from above. Many people are desperate for answers, for healing, for breakthroughs. And in that desperation, they run into the hands of men who have sacrificed their souls for power. But the question is, at what cost? My advice to you is simple: seek God for yourself. Do not place your faith blindly in any man simply because he wears a robe, speaks in tongues, or calls himself a prophet. Test every spirit. Some prophets are not leading you to God, they are leading you into bondage. Be careful who lays hands on you. Be careful who speaks over your life. Because behind some altars, there is blood. Behind some prayers, there is a price. Now, I ask you, what do you think? Comment below and share your thoughts on this revelation. Have you ever suspected that a prophet might not be who he claims to be? Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to Dangerous African Confession so you never miss another deep expose. Like this video if you believe the truth must be exposed. Share this video so others can open their eyes before it's too late.